Hello everyone and welcome back to Storekeep Ormstead. So my name is Samantha and I just wanted to pop on and say thank you to all of you who have donated to the fire victims. We just had our Zoom. It was amazing to see some of you face to face and to get to hear your questions about the upcoming mission trip. But since we're focusing on Maui, let me show you this. Look at what I found one day ago. The government has decided to award $16 million. Let me repeat that. $16 million to a company that over the next 4 years is going to help them process permits to rebuild. Guys, come on. 8,000 people were affected. Like 1,000 dwellings, and you need to award $16 million to help process extra permits? It's so frustrating because only 31 people have been approved. As of yesterday, July 6th, 2024, 11 months post-fire, only 31 people have been approved to start rebuilding. I understand it's an island. I understand that you have a reduced workforce because it's an island. But here's the thing. You hire more people that were affected. There is the difference with how Democrats and Republicans see this. I see this as a way people could have gotten money. If I was a politician in Hawaii, I would have said, we're going to give training classes to all physically abled people above the age of 18 that would like to clean their own property. We're going to train you, we're going to certify you, and then we're going to provide you with the materials that you need to clean your property, and we're going to pay you to do it. Anybody see a problem with that? You got people, they would have done a good job because it's their property. Nobody's going to care for your land like you. But how do Democrats do it? We have to go through the process. We have to take bids from large companies that are going to hire off-island workers, right? Because these are global companies. So they're going to bring their off-island workers to take up housing, which is obviously a problem on this tiny island. And we're going to pay them an exuberant amount of money to take their time cleaning your property. And then we're going to charge you for the cleaning. Folks, if you can't see how this is such a problem. So right now, the biggest things that are affecting Maui is affordable housing. Okay, so here is, again, a Democrat's way of handling it. Let's change what the word ohana means legally. Let's change what ohana dwelling means legally. Let's change it. So it affects small and middle class farmers and people. Here's what's going to happen. All these new laws with the affordable housing stuff that Governor Green is pushing is always going to benefit the rich because they don't have to worry about money. It's always going to affect the middle class because, again, the poor also, I'm not being ugly, but they're not really worried about money. Why? Because they got federal handouts for everything. But it's people like you and me, the people that work so hard to get ahead. We're affected by these ignorant laws. The way that Maui can supply food, small farmers, mid-sized farmers can afford to live there and supply food, is having agricultural housing for free for workers from around the world. That's what Governor Green wants to stop. Who is that going to affect? It's not going to affect these global corporations who are purchasing up 500 acres, 1,000 acres, 2,000 acres, and employing people to work for them. It's never going to affect them because they have the money for it. It's going to affect the little people who are trying to keep food at an affordable price for the people on the island. Otherwise, everything has to be shipped across the Pacific Island. Anybody see a problem with that? After COVID and supply chain issues, can anybody see a problem with that? Of course you can, because you're critical thinkers. That's why you listen to me. So my thing is this, folks. We're going to go back. We're going to make a difference. We're going to talk about these topics with everyday folks, because I keep trying to tell people this. It's not the indigenous people making these ridiculous laws. It is all the rich liberals that have gone to Hawaii and raped her. There's no other word for it. They've just taken the island over with their ridiculous thoughts and processes. I think for me, the hardest thing to understand is how they can feel like they're entitled to change the way things are done there. The red tape, the bureaucracy is so bad on that island. What I didn't know until yesterday is that Governor Green's wife, who is Hawaiian, her father, President Biden, were roommates in college. Yeah, you heard me right. Roommates in college. Yeah. Okay, now it gets deeper. So when Governor Green was recently on a phone call with multiple, Democrat governors talking to President Biden, he asked about his mental health. Well, the president said, everything's okay but my brain. And Green defended that. He said, oh, no. Don't take it wrong. Don't take it out of context. If he can make jokes, he's obviously cognitively there. Because what people don't know, Governor Green is actually a medical doctor. So I didn't realize that Governor Green, was such a close friend to President Biden through his wife. Who knew? And look how the federal government treated the people of Hawaii. And their governor is like bedfellows with the president. Wow, I'd hated to see what Biden would have done if he didn't like Governor Green, right? Just saying, folks, if you'd like to donate to this mission trip, it is not too late. Every penny we're getting is going to the victims. Make a difference. Make a stand. Our good friends who are there, they just opened up a nonprofit that is formed to table for the indigenous people of Hawaii. I'd like to make a donation, and a nice one, to them, because it's just a husband and a wife and their children. They homeschool. They're amazing people. You guys remember Justin? He's the one that said, stop worrying about our children. They were not taken off this island. That video had almost 80,000 views. Everybody loves Justin. He was wearing a neck brace at the time because the storm prior to the fire, a tree fell and literally broke his neck. So I just want to tell you guys, I love y'all. Everything's coming along lovely for the trip. Yes, Satan has tried to stop it everywhere he can, but I'm going to tell you what, when God tells you to do something, folks, walk it out. Walk it out. Don't let anybody stop you. And if nobody gets in the boat with you, then row it by yourself. God bless you. We love you. Like, comment, subscribe. You're going to want to come with us to Maui because we're going to make a difference, and it's all because of you.
This parking structure is right next to the ocean, so you might think this is seawater, but it's not. It's fresh spring water from the Nalehu Royal Fish Pond, and some say the fish pond is trying to take back its original home.
Water is making a definitely big, huge statement.
Respected cultural protector Keamoku Kapu says it's time to be led by the rising water, to take what looks like a barren field, a former city park, and bring back Loko o Mokuhinia, a 17-acre pond that surrounded the island of Moku'ula, which served as a tomb for royalty, buried like the culture as whaling, sugar, and tourists took over Lahaina.
So there's a lot of trauma basically came about once the island was covered. On the Native Hawaiian perspective of why this area is so important.
The restoration of Moku'ula has been talked about for 50 years, but the fire, fueled by the dry, overbuilt landscape, has opened eyes to a physical and cultural transformation.
There's somewhat of a little bit of a blank slate feel, I think, when we're talking about the historic district of Lahaina.
And politicians are now diving in.
But it's really essential to restore this wetlands and this culturally and ecologically significant area. And if there's a way that the federal government can help, I'm very open-minded to that.
Congresswoman Jill Takuda was at the site today. She's proposing historic Lahaina be named a National Heritage Area, eligible for federal funds.
I think the really good part is a good portion of the historic areas that people are looking at are already publicly owned by either the state or the county. And so that's a really great start. So you can already start doing some of the work.
Going to, right in that area, be kind of recommitting ourselves to the cultural corridor, Moku'ula, and that's a very important thing. So we're going to be restoring fish ponds. We're going to make sure that we listen to our cultural leaders and the healers in the community.
Then I hope that the governor got a bigger one than we think he has.
Kapu sees barriers in federal wetland regulations and potential native Hawaiian burials in the soil that was used to fill the pond. He points to the spring water rising under the destroyed shopping village. It and the park next door were once a royal inland fish pond where the Hawaiian government was born and the restorations could start.
And lo and behold, we already have a fish pond. All we have to do is take the mascara off and we have the wetlands right there.
The first step, he says, to a potential freshwater renaissance of culture and history that could educate generations, attract and inform visitors, and protect against fire.
Those that envision a huge lake over this whole area say it would be enough fresh water to literally change the environment of Lahaina. Reporting from